What is up, YouTube? Today you're going to be watching a video on how to make the most basic and super simple layout for your Twitch or your YouTube or your Facebook or whatever streaming site you use. But it's going to be the most basic layout you can think of. And it's totally free to do. You're going to use two pieces of software which are open source and they're both free. The first one is Gimp. The second one is OBS, if you like OBS, or there's a bunch of other different screen capture and broadcasting softwares out there, but I use OBS. So I'll show you the two that I use. The first thing you'll do is you'll go to your browser, which I'm going to show you the home screens on both of these so you see where I'm at. And you're going to go to gimp.org, Gimp.org. You're going to click on download 2.8.22. Don't click on 2.9.8. It's in development mode. There's still bugs. I haven't even tried it out yet. I'm going to just to see if I can help out with the development team. But for the time being and for the namesake, download 2.8.22. It'll bring up this screen. You'll click on direct download. You can do it BitTorrent if you want to. I got out of BitTorrents. I kept having issues with viruses and stuff. Just being a pain in the neck. So download it directly. A pop-up will come up. Save it wherever you want it. The next piece is open software. It's obsproject.com. Make sure I'm on the home screen. You'll click download OBS. Download. Excuse me. If you have Windows 7 or newer, you'll click the first link. If you have a Mac, you'll click the second, or if you're on Linux, you'll click the third. I have Windows 10. The pop-up opens, hit save file, save it where you want it. And then the next thing we'll do, I downloaded it again by accident. But after you have those downloaded, you will install them. And then once they're installed, the first thing we'll do is we'll open Gimp, which I will show you. This is what the screen looks like whenever it loads. And this is what comes up. Super simple. First thing I do is go to File, New. Don't worry about the template. The width is going to be 1920 by 1080. Because OBS likes a 1920 by 1080 as far as the screen size. The very next thing we're going to do is we're going to decide on what game we want to play. Whether it be World of Tanks, which I have a World of Tanks layout, which is right here. This is my cam. I've got it facing down right now. Actually, let me just turn that off so I don't have to worry about it because I'm going to need my camera here in a minute. But this is my World of Tanks layout. We will go back to what I was doing. And there we go. So, first thing we'll do is after we decide what game we're going to do, which in this case we'll do Rocket League, because that's what I've planned out, and we'll do a simple Rocket League layout. You'll go back to your browser, go to Google, or whatever search engine you use. I use Google. Type in Rocket League background, and it'll give you different 1920 by 1080 backgrounds. This is what you want to make sure the size is anyhow. It'll give you a whole bunch of different sizes. But to make sure, just go 1920 by 1080. And voila. This is all the 1920 by 1080. Well, it should be, anyhow. Rocket League backgrounds. For the sake of the video, we'll save this one. Save image as. I'm not going to because I have it already. The next thing I'll do, go back because I didn't want to open that. Excuse me. Is I always download if the image I use does not have a logo for the game. Like this one says Rocket League here. That one says Rocket League, Rocket League, Rocket League. Like this one's just a plain image with no logo. I always download a logo. Just type in Rocket League logo, PNG. As long as it's a PNG file, you're good. It'll have the check marks or checker pattern behind it. And I've downloaded this one for the video because it's Christmas almost and it's snowy. And they've updated some of the maps to have snow on them. So First thing we'll do is go to File, Open as Layer, find the file that you want. Mine's in Desktop, if I could see where I'm going. Tutorial, and there is RL background. That's what I saved it as. Open, and there's our background. We're going to add a camera view. So we'll get rid of the original background, delete, a new layer, and this is going to be 1280 by 720. And we will make the background color white because that's what our background color is. Hit OK. And this is going to be our screen for our stream. This is where our gameplay will actually show up. And if you want to, you can leave it like this, or you can add a border. So I'm going to go to Layer Attributes, change this to Stream, hit OK, and I'm going to right click, duplicate, go back to Edit Layer Attributes, then call it Stream Background. If I could spell today. See, I added the P. I got fat fingers today. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. We'll give this one a nice red color for a background. So we'll click on the image or the foreground color, and it'll change foreground color. We'll make it a nice red. Go to OK. Go to the Fill tool and make sure we click on the stream background layer, and we'll fill it. Now we will move it down underneath our stream original layer. We will right click on stream background, go to scale layer, make sure this chain link, make sure it's connected, because that's what it normally looks like when they're broken. When they're broken, you can obscure it. You can make the height and width totally different, and it will just screw everything up. So make sure that's linked. And what we will do is we will drag it. Let me go to my scale tool. We will drag it out just a little bit. Just until it gives us that nice border that we're looking for. And there we go. That's a nice border. Scale. Close that. Make that 1301. And that one 45. Okay, there we go. And scale. And there's our border. We got a nice red border. Next thing we'll do is new layer. This will be our face cam. We will change the size to about a, I'm going to say 450 by, I'm going to say 450, just a nice square box. We will move it to about right there. We will duplicate it, layer attributes, and call it background. Okay. We will go to our fill tool, click on the face cam background, and fill it red. Right click, scale layer, make sure it's linked. And this time I'm not going to actually move it by hand. I'm going to just adjust the width of it to about I'm going to say 475. I'll do 470 and see how it looks. And scale it, and we're going to move it down a layer. And there's our background for our face cam. As simple as that. Excuse me. Simple as that. Almost coughed in your ears. But it's easy peasy. If you wanted to, you could add a third box for your chat box if you have a chat box, which I'll go ahead and do that real quick because it takes literally 2 seconds. New layer, do 450 by 500. Make it a little taller. Okay, move it. Another thing, make sure your face cam isn't selected. You want to have the new layer, which is face cam 1, which we're going to rename it, edit layer, chat box, or just call it chat. Okay, make sure it's selected and then move it. And it grabbed the other one again for some reason. There. And we'll put it there. Duplicate it. Layer attributes, rename. For the sake of typing, we'll just call it back. Okay. Make sure it's selected. Go to our fill tool. Make sure it's selected again. And fill it red. Go ahead and get on our scale tool. Grab our chat box. Move it down. And we will right click it. Scale layer. There's a lot of repetition in this, guys and gals. I mean, it's super simple. It's just repetition, 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 until you get the hang of it, and then you can start tweaking different things that way you want them, and adding different things. We'll put it at 470, and scale. And there's our chat window. The very last thing we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to, excuse me, go to File, open this layer because we have to bring in another file. Right there's our Christmas logo, and open it. We're going to click on the logo, take it all the way to the top. That way it's on the very top layer. We're going to scale this down. So right click, scale, and make sure it's linked. And we'll just take it down to about 850. Yeah, there you go, 850 scale. See how that size does. And we'll move it, and for the sake, we'll put it down here on the bottom, which we need to scale it a little more. So right click, scale. And if you wanted to, you don't have to mess with the up and down arrows. You can grab out here, because it's linked. It will never actually, oh my goodness, it won't grab nothing. There. Oh my goodness. Oh, it would help if I had my scale tool selected. Yeah, it was a mistake on my part. But see, the link is broken. It will let me move whichever way I wanted to. So I'm going to exit, move it, get it centered where I want it. Click on scale tool, go to the scale tool itself, and I'm going to click it, make sure it's linked, because I'm actually editing the scale of it, not in the layer. And it's linked, so now it won't move. I can't obscure it, it just makes it bigger or smaller. And hit scale there, close this one, go to our move tool, and move it where we want it. And that's it. I mean, you can add a box down here to make it symmetrical and fill up space, but I'm not going to, because I mean, I'm going to give y'all room to actually put what you want on it. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not going to put this one up on the internet for you to download, but just follow this tutorial and you can end up with the exact same thing. So the only thing I'm going to add now is I'm going to open this layer. I'm going to add my subscribe button. I'm going to scale this way down, make sure it's linked. I'm going to move it down just a little more. Make sure you don't scale it off of the screen, because then you won't be able to grab it. And I didn't save that, so we'll do that again. Scale it down, scale, grab it. We're going to move it over here. And for the sake of the video, I'm just placing it here. I mean, it doesn't have to go here. You can put it wherever you wanted it. That's nice, 300 by 75, that works. We're going to move it. We're going to go File, open this layer. We're going to grab our like and share button, open. Going to scale it down. Scale. We're going to move it back up so we can keep it in the center of the screen. Going to scale it down again. And right there works. Voila. There's our like, share, and subscribe button. Granted, they don't actually link to nothing, but it's just on the screen, the image, so you can see it. And I don't think I have any others. Alright, we'll add Twitter. We'll put Twitter on here, why not? And scale it down. And go right there. Scale. And we'll move it. That's a little big. Actually, we will cancel this, go back to our like and share button, and we will scale that one up just a hair. There. That's better. So there's your logos for your Facebook, your YouTube, and your Twitter. Which I use the like and share button on YouTube all the time, but what you'll do now, if you wanted to, before you do anything else, go to File, Save As, call it whatever you wanted. I'm going to go and make sure you know where it's going to save. So Desktop, Tutorials, and I'm going to rename this one. I'm going to save over this one. Save. Replace. And the next thing you'll do is go to File, Export As. We'll call it RL Final Layout, because I already made one or two of these. I'm going to replace it. You shouldn't have to replace anything, but once you hit export, this screen will pop up. I never mess with any of the settings. I just export it, and I never have any trouble. And that's it. You were done. You just created your first layout. I'm glad you made it this long, and if you like the video, comment, subscribe, share it. Everything that you do helps. As far as feedback, it makes me a better YouTuber, makes me make better videos, lets me know I'm actually connecting with y'all and helping y'all in any way I can. So if you would, just come on back for another video, and again, I appreciate y'all stopping by, and thank you.